This is Detroit's Darkest Times. Today we're going to get into violence in the hood is the topic. And this is in Detroit City, Livernois Avenue area. First thing I want you to do is subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and hit the notification bell. Show your support for this channel. So today we're going to get into violence in the hood. There was one time when this dude, he was like trying to holler at this girl, and she was broke up with her boyfriend, so she was single, and she was giving him a little play. And then later her ex-boyfriend found out about the dude, and he wanted to get at him. So one day the dude, the guy that was talking to his girl, he gets in his car. He got like a 78 Grand Prix. It's like a two-door sunroof. Not a bad looking car. He gets in his car. He makes a U-turn from Livernois, a U-turn on Livernois, going toward Berner, and the dude happened to be with his friends, and they seen him, so they went on a chased after him, and then they get, up to him, and then side by side, and they're trying to run him off the road, and, saying things back and forth to each other. And this guy in this Grand Prix, he's just by himself. And the other guy, he's got like 5 guys with him in the car. And they're trying to run him off the road, so he makes a turn off of Livernois to Berner. Then they're side by side, and he goes down Berner, goes under the viaduct, and when you get underneath that viaduct, there's like a Y shape. And if you go toward your left, that's Berner, and if you go toward your right, that's Dix Highway. And there's a car wash right there. Anyways, they're chasing them, trying to run them off the road, and they get about a block and a half up, and there's this abandoned brick building that's boarded up. It's a gray building. And finally they run them off the road, and then it hits the car, runs him off the road, and then he runs into the brick building. And it ejects him out the car. Because I don't know if he had time to put a seatbelt. I don't think he had a seatbelt on. But even if he did, it ejected him out the car onto the ground. And then later the ambulance came and all that, picked him up, took him to the hospital. And the Grand Prix, it was totaled because the whole front of it smashed up where it hit the brick building, because they were going pretty fast down the street. And then they ran him off the road. He ran into the building. But after that, he went to the hospital. I think he just had a neck injury and just being real sore. And anybody that knows anything about Detroit, and this might be in a lot of other cities too, but I'm just specifically talking about Detroit. when something goes down like this, there's repercussions to pay. And so now all 5 of these guys, they got repercussions coming from this guy. And I don't think they realized what they were doing. I mean, I know they knew what they were doing, but they just didn't realize the comeback that's going to come to them for doing this. So anyways, the guy gets out of the hospital. He's wearing like a neck brace. He's real sore. So it takes him a little while to get healed up. But, once all his friends finds out about it, and he's pissed. And so, the first thing coming to his mind is when he gets better, he's going after them guys. And his friends are going after the guys too. And it wasn't like the guys was from a different neighborhood or a different area. These guys were from the neighborhood. So, he knew all the ones that was in that car. So he actually, told his friends about it, told them what happened. And so now the hunt's on for these 5 guys. Now, each one of them, they get caught one at a time on down the road. Because like I said, the guy had to heal up and he wanted to get even with them. So the only thing he did was just get him he had like a big walking tall stick. And he just kept it with him wherever he went. And then he says if he ran into them guys, that's what they're going to get, for running him off the road. I mean, because they could have killed a dude probably. He just got lucky. So he was going to get his revenge on them. Because usually in Detroit at that time, people didn't call the police. They just got revenge, And anyways, so as time passed, he heals up, gets better. And then he's on the hunt for these guys. And also his friends are on the hunt for these guys. And at first the guys were laying low because you don't see them nowhere around. And then as time passed, and that's the way it usually happens. When somebody does something like that, they'll lay low. I don't know what they're thinking. I think they just think you're going to forget about it or something, probably. I don't know. But anyway, they lay low for a while. And then eventually they popped up. And they would be like by themselves, and then one at a time got an encounter. But everybody, including myself, knew about this incident and knew the hunt was on for them guys, and that when these guys find them, they're going to pay for not only destroying the car, because actually the car wasn't even the dudes that was driving. It was just a loner. So the guy that owned the car, he was after him too because he was mad. So anyways, as time passed, like I said, that one guy, he kept a big stick with him. I think it was like an axe handle or something like that. And so he was going to be ready for him if he happened to see him. And it didn't really matter if they was all 5 together or one at a time or whatever. It didn't really matter. But the way it unfolded is all of them got caught by themselves. And the first guy, and a few people witnessed it, and then they would tell everybody in the neighborhood, and that's how I actually found out, because I didn't witness it. I just heard about it. But he catches one guy at Jim Pollard liquor store on Otis and Livernois. And he sees him going in the store. So he pulls up there and he waits for him to come out. and the guy's got some 40-ounce beers, and he confronts them, but he ain't got time to mess with them. He just wants to take care of them, and that's that. So he ends up breaking that guy's arms, both of his arms, outside the store. And then after that, he just got in his car and left. And see, that guy knew he had that coming, but he probably thought he had something worse coming, but he really got off easy, I believe, with just 2 broke arms. Because, you just got to ask yourself this: if you was in that situation and you borrowed a car and somebody ran you off the road and you knew all the people who did it and ran you into a building, and then you ended up having to go to the hospital and all that, you'd probably feel the same way, I guess. I mean, I don't know, different strokes for different folks, I guess. But anyways, he breaks the dude's 2 arms. Then the other dude is that dude's brother. And one day that guy's walking through the neighborhood, and I hear this too. I didn't eyewitness it or anything, but he was walking through the neighborhood after time went by, thinking everything was going to be smoothed over. Just so happened the dude that owned the car that they ran off the road, he spots him. So this guy sees him, and he's going to chase him. And this is just what I hear. I didn't see this with my own eyes, but this is what I hear. I hear the guy sees him, so he takes off running. And this guy, they said that, the people in the neighborhood that was there, and I wasn't there, but they said they heard a pop, 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 pop. And this guy was just jumping over fences and stuff like that, jumping through people's backyards and stuff like that, trying to get away. And once he got away or whatever, people said they didn't see him, but they did see the dude that got his 2 arms broke, because he still came out in the neighborhood with 2 casts on his arms. And everybody knew, why they, because everybody knew the story, once the story got out, everybody knew it in the neighborhood. So, and the dude that was jumping over the fences and stuff like that, that was his brother. And that was crazy. And then the other guys, the one guy, he ended up getting, they told me in the neighborhood that he got his windshield broke out. And then they said a week later, he fixing his windshield, he went to the junkyard, got him a windshield, put it in. And once he got it put in, the guy went back and broke it out again. And that was because he was with them in the car. He didn't do anything, but he was with them in the car. So it cost him like 2 windshields from what I hear. And, that's just, violence in the hood, They should have known that if they did something like that, there's going to be some repercussions. And I'm sure they did, because they know the drill in Detroit. If you mess around with somebody and it ain't justified, there's going to be problems behind it. And no matter if it's, a month later, 2 months later, 6 months later, whatever, it's going to come. But anyways, that dude, I'm sure he was mad because he had to put 2 windshields in, and I'm sure he was pissed about that. But I guess he won't roll in another car with nobody and, like that, and running people off the road and all that, So I guess he'll think twice about that, And And then the other two guys, I I heard that they caught up with them, but I really didn't hear what happened with the other two guys. But I'm sure they got a little taste of the, old English medicine too. Is what they called it. But yeah, that's a crazy incident right there. But anyways, that dude that got his car totaled, he had to get him another car. You know, so you imagine that dude was mad. It was a nice car too. It wasn't no clunker or nothing. It was a pretty nice ride. And so and all them guys just did that for one of their friends that him and the girl were broke up. I guess the girl broke up with him, and I guess he just felt like he didn't want nobody going with the girl or going out with the girl. And the way everybody sees it in neighborhood is if she's single and she's wanting to talk to somebody else, there ain't nothing you can do about it. I mean, you could try to do something, but it's you know, look what comes behind it. So really, I don't think it's worth it. You know, but that's crazy. Then one time, this dude, he was in Church's Chicken ordering some chicken on Michigan Avenue, and he was in line at the Church's Chicken, and the somebody came in there and they held the chicken spot up and robbed them. Why, they was in line and stuff. And this dude was telling me about it that was in line. And then he said he got mad because they called the police because they got robbed. But then the police showed up pretty quick and they told everybody they couldn't leave until they, you know, finished their investigation or whatever. And he was like, not only did it take a long time to get my chicken, I had to stay there until they finished their investigation with the robbery. And I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. But I told him, I said, that could have happened anywhere in Detroit, you know. And so that's another incident that happened over there. That was crazy. Then there was two guys fighting outside of Jim Poller on Otis Livernois. It's about 9 o'clock at night. And, we're all in the neighborhood just hanging out. And we're walking toward the store, see these two guys fighting. And then this other guy has like a board, like it looked like a piece of a ladder of a bunk bed. And then another guy intervenes and runs and grabs the board. And when he does, there's two undercover cops that's working inside the Jim Poller store. And I guess they're moonlighting for the store or whatever. But anyways, they hear all the commotion. They come out with their guns drawn and puts all three of them guys on the ground, face down on the ground on the sidewalk. And then they ended up arresting all three guys and taking them to jail. And I don't know if it was for fighting, because a lot of times if you're fighting on the street and the police get involved, they might try to break it up, or they might even just ride by and watch. But I think maybe they might have went to jail for fighting, but it could have been they just had some outstanding warrants and reason they all went to jail. I'm not for sure. But that was wicked. There's always something going on in the neighborhood, One time I was walking home in the winter from school, junior high, and it was Clippert Junior High School off of Michigan Avenue and McGraw. And it was right down the street from Telway's hamburger joint. Anyway, as I was walking home, a lot of people walked home from that school. When I was walking home, and I went, and there's like a group of us, but I was walking down Michigan Avenue, then I turned right on Livernois, and there's like a bank right there on the corner. And then you walk up about a block, and then there's a post office. And when I was walking toward the post office, I seen this guy. He gets out of his car, and he leaves his car running because it's wintertime. And I guess he's going to check his mail. But then I see this other guy that's standing against the post office. As soon as the guy walks in, he runs to the guy's car and jumps in the car, drives off. So I guess this guy needed a ride somewhere, and I guess he felt like if he just posted up at the post office, somebody eventually come and leave their car running, he'd just jump in and go. And ain't no telling where the guy had to go. It was pretty cold, because I really didn't want to walk in the snow neither. But I didn't have that far to go. I just had, I think, about 4 more blocks, and then I was at the house. But I thought that was crazy. I was like, it wasn't funny, but I laughed about it because I knew that dude was freezing. He just needed, ain't no telling how long he's been outside or how far he would actually walk just to get to the post office. So it was crazy. But dude, one guy got out, the other guy hopped in and drove away. I thought that was crazy. Then there's this big dude in the neighborhood, and he was telling me that this guy was messing around with one of his partners as far as like trying to start trouble with him and stuff like that. And he said he's looking for him. And I said, well, I'm sure you're going to see him around if he's still in the neighborhood, And he said, yeah, I'm going to let this guy know that some people are just not to be messed with, And anyways, later on, I found out that he did find the guy, and he had a pair of pliers in his back pocket. So I don't know if they was big channel locks or what, but some pliers. And he caught up with the dude and just beat the guy up with the pliers and told him the reason why he was beating him up, and that, he better not even mess with the guy that he was threatening to mess with. And that's another incident too. You not only, you're not supposed to go around messing with people that you don't know, you can't even allege that you're going to mess with somebody you don't know. Because if the wrong person hears it, there's going to be consequences behind that too. So, and that's what happened to that dude. He just, I guess he was going around saying he was going to get a hold of this one dude, and then his big partner, his big dude, he decided he's going to put him in check. And maybe, I don't know, but I don't know if he just happened to have the pliers on him the day he found them, or he was just carrying them just for that purpose. I have no idea, but that dude, he was nobody to play with neither. There's a lot of serious people in the neighborhood, Then you had some people that was just like, they thought they was serious until the time came, and then found out that they just really made a big mistake about, messing around with the wrong people. So people who's listening to this story, I hope just keep that in mind, because you never know if you threaten somebody or something like that, you never know what might happen in behind that, or you never know who they know, you know. So I always keep that in mind, Don't go to violence not unless it's the last resort, you know, and it's a have to. But I knew that dude, and he's no longer around anymore. He passed away, but I knew that dude. He was no dude, nobody to mess with. He was serious. You know. Then I want to touch on one thing that I talked about in my last video. It's old man Lou that we used to take care of. Uh, After we kept him for a long time, there was this dude that had a sale going in the neighborhood. It's about 6 blocks away from where we live. But he was selling stuff because they were moving to Florida, and it was him and his daughter. And this dude was like maybe 60, and then his daughter was maybe like 20 something years old. Very pretty girl. But anyways, we go over there to, see what they have for sale. And we take old man Lou. And this is crazy, but when we take him, he's sitting there talking to the girl while we're all looking around at what they got for sale and stuff like that. So, and we're there for a good little while, And then when we leave, the girl gets the phone number and gives him her phone number, but they're getting ready to move. And then next thing we know, they came to our house, and because she claimed that she liked old man Lou, and they asked him did he want to go to Florida with them, and he said yeah. So this dude that was staying with us, they helped him pack his stuff, and he went to Florida with them. I don't know what part of Florida they went to, but we thought that was weird, but he was free to go anytime he wanted to go, but we just thought it was weird that the 20-something-year-old girl, you know, was interested in him and stuff like that, and wanted to hook up with him and take him to Florida, But we all said it was probably just a money thing, really, because it just, the things like that, it just seemed weird that, because I'd say she's like 26. He's like, 70, 75, something like that. So I thought that was weird, but I hope they, did all right after they left and everything went smooth in Florida. But I just wanted to finish up on that story that I was talking about on the last video. Yeah. But a lot of things goes on in that neighborhood, and I lived there for quite some time before I moved to a different area. But there was always something going on. I remember this one dude, he got into it with a guy, and the guy was bigger than he was, but he had got into it with him, and then the guy left. Well, then time went by, and it was like in the summertime, and they was having like a big party outside, and the guy had been drinking and stuff like that. And this dude that was messing with him in the past come walking through the neighborhood again. So this guy just went off on him and was hitting him upside the head and all that, chasing him around the car. And the guy, for some reason, the guy was scared of him at this point, but he was a lot bigger. But I think that just because all the people that was out there in the neighborhood and stuff, I guess he just didn't want to. So he was just trying to run away from the dude as the guy was wailing on his head, going around the car. And finally, the guy just took off running. There's a lot of violence in the neighborhood. But that's it for this video. Be looking for another one. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like. And y'all have a good one. Peace.